Hello, everybody. I have blue fingers. I hope you're doing well and having a great night. B-Side Records, Beth has put out another video with some great questions in it. She is rocking out the threads and tags and things like that, and forcing me out of hiding with some really fun questions to ask. So thank you, Beth, for putting out some great videos and some fun things for us to all talk about. So the set of questions that I'm going to answer tonight is a soundtrack tag. And at first I thought, well, Dave is the one who has all the soundtracks. I don't really have that many. But then when I started looking through the stacks, I actually have a few. So I thought I would answer her questions. So here they are. There are 10 questions. The first tag question is, what is the first soundtrack you ever bought? I had several Disney soundtracks, of course, when I was little, but I didn't buy those. And I can think of some other soundtracks that I was given as gifts and things like that. But the first one that I purchased myself, I got it off the Columbia House, and it was on cassette. But later on, I got it on vinyl, and that's Pretty in Pink, which happens to be a movie that I don't love the movie, but I love this soundtrack and have listened to it umpteen bajillion times, and will listen to it an umpteen bajillion more because I love it. But she should have gone with Ducky. Just saying. Anyway, I've got issues with that movie. Anyhow, moving on. Number 2, the newest soundtrack to my collection. I went to this little flea market place, and they have a big bin of dollar records, $2 records, and I found this one still sealed. I was so shocked because I had never seen this record ever before, and it's the story of Willow. If you can see that without the glare, because it's still in the shrink and it's still sealed. And I think that is awesome. I loved this movie. So this includes dialogue and music, the original motion picture soundtrack. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Super thrilled to have this. Although I keep thinking I should crack it open and listen to it. Well, it's lasted all this time without anybody bothering it, and it has a souvenir photo book inside. I really need to crack this thing open. No, just wait a little bit longer. Anyway, I will eventually open it because it's too awesome not to listen to. It was born to be listened to. Okay, so this is the newest soundtrack I've bought. The newest soundtrack to my collection. Number 3, the one I listen to the most. The soundtrack I listen to the most is Xanadu. This is another one that I've listened to an umpteen bajillion times, and we'll listen to it another umpteen bajillion times, and Dave will just have to suffer through me singing horribly to it each and every time and dancing around like a nut, because that's what you do when you're listening to Xanadu. And when we were little, we had Mom make us barrettes with the ribbons in them so we could be just like Kira, and we had all the we got her to make us dresses like her, and we roller skated around and sang all the songs and pretended to be muses, and it was awesome. And then later on, or just a few years ago actually, we went to a was it a horror convention, or what was the convention we went to? Yeah, and Sonny Malone was there, and I completely geeked out. I was just almost couldn't speak, but I was super excited that I got to meet him, and he signed my record, and I was completely thrilled with that. So I thought that was awesome. Let's see, the next one, your favorite composer. When I think composer, I usually just think instrumental stuff, but, well, anyway, I kind of had a tough time with this because I thought, well, it should be somebody who only does instrumental things. But both of these people do instrumental stuff, but also regular music too. And the two people I came up with as favorite composers, Danny Elfman, and because everything he touches is gold, and all the soundtracks he's been involved in, and Mark Mothersbaugh, awesome composers. And I don't have any soundtracks that they have done. Do we have any soundtracks of either of those?
On CD.
On CD, but nothing on vinyl. So there you go. I had to show their other non-soundtrack things. But those are some favorite composers. Favorite instrumental score. Here's another one that has been loved almost to the death. Yeah. Star Wars. It's fallen out. And it's been used and abused, and it's in sad shape, but it's so well loved. It's just, oh my word. If you could see this vinyl, that, I don't know if you can see how horrible that is. That is a crime against nature. But that's what happens when you have three little girls roller skating and jumping around with lightsabers around it. It's wrecked, but I love it and will keep it forever. And I don't care if it's wrecked. I'm going to listen to it just like it is because it's awesome. So, favorite instrumental score? Star Wars. Okay. Awesome movie with a horrible soundtrack. That was tough for me because I thought if it has a horrible soundtrack, I'm not going to buy it. That only makes sense, right? So the only soundtrack I could think of that I really don't like, I don't really like the movie that much either, although he'll probably croak for me saying that. Top Gun. I never liked that movie. And I really don't like the soundtrack at all. I love Berlin, but when I heard that Take My Breath Away, I thought, that doesn't sound like Berlin. This is not Berlin. It's not what I thought of. So anyway, everything about that movie rubbed me wrong, and it may have started, my bad feelings about it may have started from my strong feelings about the Berlin song. But anyway, never liked the movie, never liked the soundtrack, and never liked that Berlin song either. So, so next is, so awesome movie with a horrible soundtrack. That's what was going to be my pick for that. Soundtrack that's better than the movie, that's a little easier because there's lots of soundtracks that I think are better than the movie because the soundtrack is what I keep wanting to go back to, and I would be fine if I didn't see the actual movie again, although I probably will, because these two choices, I think both the movie and the soundtrack are amazing. And the first one is Baby Driver. I thought it was a really great movie, but the soundtrack is even better. So, there you go. I don't know if you can pause that and check out all the awesomeness on that soundtrack. Soundtrack even better than the movie. And here's another one that, once I saw this movie, I loved the movie, but I had to find the soundtrack someplace, somewhere or another. I never could find the soundtrack to this, Band of the Hand. I could never find the soundtrack when I was younger and when the movie first came out, but I did start hunting down the bands that were on the soundtrack. So this was the first time that I had heard Shriekback, and I absolutely loved Shriekback and had to find anything that I could find with Shriekback, had to grab it. So Band of the Hand, really fun 80s movie with an awesome soundtrack. I'm trying to get that in the thing without glare. There you go. Really, really good songs on there. Okay, so soundtrack better than the movie. Soundtrack with a song by your favorite artist or band featured on the soundtrack. This one is kind of easy. Return of the Living Dead. There is so much good stuff on this album. It's ridiculous. Yeah, everything on here is great. So, a favorite artist or band, all of them. All of them on here. The Cramps, TSOL, The Damned, it's just an awesome soundtrack. There you go. I don't know if that'll focus for you there. Really, really great. Okay, but I would say of those, The Cramps is my favorite one on there, but don't make me pick. A soundtrack I think everyone should own. So this one, I picked 2 records. I only recently, I've not known about Davy Allen and the Arrows all my life. I only found out about them, I guess, more recently. I knew the music from watching movies, but once I knew who it was in all of these movies that I thought had really awesome music to them, then I thought, well, we need to start grabbing up all the vinyl to those that we can. And we've gotten a couple or 3. Davy Allen and the Arrows, I think, is some music that everybody ought to listen to because it's awesome and really fun and dangerous. There you go. Davy Allen and the Arrows. Great music. All right. Let's see. Soundtrack everyone should own. Soundtrack grails and wants. Okay. I would love to have every soundtrack that's from a Wes Anderson movie. I think they're all great. All of the soundtracks are awesome. I love the movies. I think Wes Anderson's use of color and composition is just amazing. I think he's got great style, and I've loved every single soundtrack that they've had on the movies. So whoever is picking the music for him, tip top. So I would love to have every one of the Wes Anderson movie soundtracks. I would also love to have a lot more of the John Hughes soundtracks. I can think of several that I would really love to have. I would love to have 16 Candles. I don't have that one yet. I would love to have Uncle Buck. That's got so many good songs on it. And the biggest grail of all for me would be the Better Off Dead soundtrack. I think that'd be a great one to have. I'd also love to have Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice, and I could go on and on. But I'd say tip top, the very biggest one that I would love to have would be Better Off Dead. That's my grail of soundtracks. And I think that's it. She says, can't wait to hear your response. So there you go. Thank you, B-Side Records, for an awesome tag. It's a lot of fun thinking about what I wanted to answer to your questions. So thank you for putting those questions out there. You guys go check out her channel and give her a shout and see if you can answer these tag questions as well. You guys take it easy, and we will hopefully see you on Sunday, where we will be live streaming at 7 o'clock Central. So y'all come join us, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.